There is a campaign underway to remove the portrait of President Andrew Jackson from the $20 bill. The organizers say they would prefer to see a woman. Some of the candidates include civil rights icon Rosa Parks, the abolitionist Sojourner Truth, also the first Asian American in Congress, Patsy Mink, and the Civil War nurse Clara Barton, and of course, Oprah. Susan Ades Stone is executive director of the organizing group Women on $20, and she's here to explain this campaign. Susan, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
I personally think it makes perfect sense to have a woman on a piece of currency. It hasn't happened yet. We've had Sacagawea and Susan B. Anthony on coins.
Yes.
Tell me, as you make the case for putting a woman on the $20 bill, what is the case you're making? Why?
The case is that women have contributed so much to the shaping of our nation as it is today. And they've been behind the curtain for too long. They are some of these women are game changers who have made the country a more open, diverse place for people, of all walks of life. They've really contributed so much and have really gotten, so little recognition for it in the everyday experience of Americans. So we're hoping to change that by putting a woman's image on something we use every day.
Yeah, and quite frankly, that usually women make the decisions about how that money is used.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
You've narrowed the possibilities down to 15, and I know that probably was a very difficult job. We've already named a few, but just to call out a few more, Shirley Chisholm, of course, Susan B. Anthony, Margaret Sanger, Rachel Carson, Eleanor Roosevelt, Barbara Jordan, the list goes on and on. How did you get to these 15?
It was very difficult, Debbie. We started with about 100 names. Barbara Ortiz Howard, whose idea this was, she started collecting names from friends of hers, sending out emails, and that's how I got involved. And everybody thought, wow, this is such a great idea. So I jumped in, and we eventually got the list down to 30 with great difficulty, and then we created a survey. The survey was a two-step survey, and the women were judged on their impact on society. We weighted that twice because we felt that was very important. And then they were also judged on the difficulty that they faced and the obstacles in achieving what they did achieve.
What's very interesting about this effort is not only are you trying to put a woman on a piece of paper currency, you want to knock a man off. You want to knock off Andrew Jackson. Why do you think he deserves to be taken off the 20?
Well, Andrew Jackson had a mixed legacy, and more recently, that negative part of his legacy is what he's become known for, which is what's known as the Trail of Tears. That was the result of a law that he signed called the Indian Removal Act of 1830, which drove Native Americans off of their reservations and their land in the southeast into the west, and in the course of that time, many people died of starvation and exposure, many, many thousands. And, that is a legacy of pain that we think is probably time to, do something to erase, not to honor. And so he also, by the way, was a real opponent of the central bank and paper money. He believed that we should be using only hard currency, gold and silver
coins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't that ironic?
So I like to think he would thank us for what we're doing because he would not approve of being on a bill. I
want you to tell people how they can vote, but before we get to that, what does it take for this to happen?
Well, that's why we picked this process. It doesn't take a congressional act or any
no law has
to be changed. So the Treasury Secretary has the power to change the design on the bill, but we'd like to go to President Obama because we think that that's a decision he's probably going to want to make when removing a president from the bill. And so this can be done by the stroke of a pen.
I want to get two things in just a few seconds. First of all, has anybody ever been removed from currency before?
Well,
So-
portraits have been changed.
Portraits
Yes,
have been changed,
yes,
but
yes.
the actual person hasn't
Yeah,
been
and
changed
nothing has
before.
been changed since 1929. So we want to bring money into the 21st century.
You're blazing a trail here. People can vote. How do they do that?
And they can vote by going to www.womenon20s.org. That's the 20.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, makes sense. Everybody should go vote.
Everybody vote.
Susan Ades Stone, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Nice
Debbie.
to talk to you. And you're watching Arise America.